When it comes to Boruto characters, Cho Cho is one that I find is really divisive in the fandom. Fans either love her or they hate her. However, despite all of this, a very close look at her character reveals that her character is being set up to be quite the formidable ninja. Just what could her ceiling be? Well, in today's edition of the True Power series, the Boruto Generation, we're going to take a look at the true power of Cho Cho. For those of you who are new to the True Power series or new to the channel, this is a series on the channel where we take a look at the true range of abilities of Naruto characters. There won't be any fancy number calculations or scaling going on. Like I've said more than once, there's a lot of channels that present that information, and I think that this is why this series is so interesting, because it tackles these subjects from a different perspective than what you're getting. Starting things off, Cho Cho does have a very strong affinity for lightning release, which shouldn't take a lot of people by surprise, given that her mother Karui is a Cloud Village ninja, and her mother also had a strong affinity for lightning release. According to Boruto Volume 2, in the character profile for Cho Cho, Cho Cho has developed a jutsu called the lightning style thunderclap fist. Likely this is a jutsu that she developed under the watchful eye of her mother Karui, though there's no confirmation if she combines this attack with any of the Akimichi clan's hidden jutsu, though it'd be really cool if she did do so. However, despite this, Cho Cho takes largely after her father Choji, where a vast majority of her jutsu is rooted in yang release jutsu, and this is for a really good reason. The Akimichi clan's secret jutsu is rooted in yang release, so it makes sense that she's been trained in this manner. Like her father, Cho Cho's true power comes from her ability to convert the thousands of calories that she consumes into pure chakra, which she then burns through using her clan's secret jutsu. The anime makes it really clear that Choji had been training Cho Cho even before she graduated from the academy, since very early on in the series we see her using the partial expansion jutsu pretty effectively. However, to say that she's just using the jutsu for close range attacks isn't doing her character any justice, since in a few of her scenarios she's actually used her head, and I'll give you guys an example of one. In episode 59, where she uses the jutsu to smack around large chunks of debris at her target, it allows her to fight from a mid-range perspective. While a lot of people are unhappy with the Cho Cho arc in the anime, it is still really important, since it did confirm one of the things that was listed in her character profile, which is the fact that she has the butterfly mode. When Cho Cho goes into this state, she sprouts 2 butterfly wings and enhances her combat ability several fold, though the trade-off is that it requires a lot of chakra in order to pull this off. While it might seem impressive, a very close look at Cho Cho's butterfly mode does show that she still has a lot of training that she needs to go through in order to maximize it. She isn't able to use the Akimichi clan's most powerful attacks using this form, one example being the butterfly bomb, which combines chakra, the body weight of the user, and the brute strength of the user into one blow to knock out their enemy. While Choji and Choza can use this attack, Cho Cho has yet to master it. While it is really impressive that she can go into the butterfly mode in itself without the assistance of the 3 chakra pills of her clan, she still has a long way to go before she can maximize this power. It just goes to show you guys that despite the very popular belief, not every member in Boruto's generation is a genius who doesn't have to work for their power. There are some characters in the series that do need to train and do need to focus their energy. Her calorie control jutsu is a secret jutsu of the Akimichi clan that converts all of her stored calories into chakra that can be used in battle. Normally, the more or less experienced members of the clan have to use the various food pills in order to initiate this process, but through Choji's training, Cho Cho is able to do this unassisted, and she can control how much of her body weight that she does convert over. Another trade-off to mastering this jutsu is that the user has to consume just as many calories as they burn up, and it requires a lot of eating. And also this jutsu, the after effect is, in order to recover from it, you gotta consume a lot of food because of how much chakra is being eaten up while sustaining this form. Her hollow boom jutsu is an advancement of the partial expansion jutsu. Cho Cho smashes the ground and sends debris flying in the air. She then jumps into the air and starts directing the debris with her oversized fist. If you take a really close look at the Mitsuki retrieval arc, there are a few scenes where you can see Cho Cho using this jutsu, as well as during her fight in the Chunin exams. Her human juggernaut jutsu makes use of the expansion jutsu, and Cho Cho tucks herself into a ball and proceeds to roll towards her enemy using the combination of her weight and momentum being built up in order to do serious damage to her target. The damage is ramped up if Cho Cho can gather speed and launch herself into the air, which sets her up to give out even more damage when she crashes down onto her target, because now you have to factor in gravity. The main drawback to this jutsu is that it's a straight line jutsu, making it really hard to turn. Now, the best way I can put this, and those who follow me on Twitter, you know that I have a huge love for cars. So the best way I can put this is it's kind of like a Dodge Demon. It's got a bunch of power and it picks up speed really quickly in a straight line, but it's really heavy in weight and the mechanics aren't the best suited in order to make sharp turns. Though I will say, as someone who used to own a Hellcat before it got totaled, and again, you follow me on Twitter, you know all about that. Before it got totaled, I mean, the Hellcat could handle pretty good, but Cho Cho ain't no Hellcat. Let's just go ahead and be real for a second. Now, we have to say this much: when Cho Cho does stop and turn around, she does open herself up for attack. So once again, that's yet another vulnerability of this jutsu. Now, the partial expansion itself is the famous hidden jutsu of her clan, which is rooted in Yang release. Cho Cho blows up her body in size, increases the proportions of her weight and strength as she does so. Due to the immense strain that this jutsu causes, as well as the chakra consumption, it isn't a jutsu that can be used for a very long time. However, during the Fourth Shinobi World War, or as I like to call it, the walking plot power-up arc of Naruto, when you look at this, there's actually a moment where we do see a user utilize the jutsu for a very prolonged state, where Choji and his father used the jutsu for several hours without letting up on it. And I just want to put this, guys, in a bit of a side note. So look at this. This is why the war arc is absolutely crazy, since in the span of a few weeks before the war and during the 3 days that the war was fought over, the people fighting in it not only broke their limits, but they reached insane levels of strength while doing so, as shown when Choji went from being able to barely use the jutsu in short spurts to now being able to use it for several hours at a time. Now, I will say this: if Cho Cho does reach this level, she's gonna be an absolute monster. She's gonna be a monster when you look at how skilled she is at age 12 compared to how skilled Choji was at 12, and then you just kind of do your projections from there. Now, with that being said, her partial expansion jutsu focuses on the specific part of her body, and it increases the size and power of the limb that she chooses. By focusing on one part of her body, it allows her to use this jutsu to be used as a sneak attack, which is going to be really impressive and something that is really important to keep in mind, since she can increase her body in that body part in a very sudden moment, making this the ideal sneak attack, since you won't see it coming until the body begins to expand and you're hit with an oversized fist. Finally, Cho Cho can make use of the super expansion jutsu, which is used at its highest point. It can make her taller than a mountain. At this point, the level of damage that these attacks can dish out is several times more powerful than anything before, and when you take in the immense size of her body during this point, Cho Cho does become an easy target. But at the same time, look at the amount of damage that she would be dishing out, as shown when Choji was able to use this jutsu in part 1. Now, the major drawback to this jutsu is that on top of the massive amounts of chakra that it consumes, it also puts a huge strain on the body, making it one of the user's last ditch efforts in order to win a battle. Keyword one of, since if you're familiar with the way that Choji fights, you know that this isn't the last move he'll pull out, but it's probably one of the ones that's closer towards the end. And given how overpowered it is, I personally think it'd be like a finishing move. Well, guys, what do you guys think about Cho Cho's true power? And I have a question for you guys. What jutsu would you like to see Cho Cho combine her lightning release with? Let me know down in the comment section below, and also let me know if it's going to be the super expansion jutsu or the partial expansion jutsu. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.